So let's talk about sales. Let's talk about sales in growth stage. When a company enters in a growth stage, what happens? And how do we know that we are in the growth stage? Second question. What all steps you need to follow to have decent sales in the growth stage? So let me simplify it for you. Growth is a very big term. There's a lot of hype around it. But I like one person's philosophy around growth. His name is Chamath Palihapitiya. This guy articulated what it actually means to be in growth stage, what all things entail in that stage, and how we can simplify the entire strategy for this growth stage of your company. Let me say what it is. He said the first and the most important thing is focusing on how are you going to get more customers. That's like really simple. That's number one. Next part. He says, secondly, you have to focus on getting those customers to the core product value stage as soon as possible. So for example, in case of Facebook, it was getting any new registration or a new person who has registered on Facebook to having at least 10 friends in first 14 days. If Facebook did not get that thing right, there was a very clear-cut data to support this argument that that person who has registered would leave the site. So back to Chamath Palihapitiya, his second point was you need to get the customer to the core product value as soon as possible. Okay, when I realized and I thought about it, it made sense to me. Then the third point was equally valuable for retaining the customer. Once you've got the customer to core product and value around it. Third stage is how often you can make the customer experience the aha moment or the core product value as many times as possible. So if you are solving these three things, and if you have this clear-cut solution for these 3 points, how are you going to get more customers? How are you going to get the customers to get to the core product value as soon as possible? And how are you going to get the customer to get to the product value as many times as possible? As in, how often can you make the person realize the aha moment of your product or service? So if you have clear-cut answer for these 3 things, you have officially solved growth stage. But it is really hard. I have articulated these points in really simple terms, but I know it is hard to get crystal clear answers for these 3 points. And that's where we come in. It takes a lot of iteration to find the exact channel, the exact method to find where your customers are going to come from. It takes n number of iterations to get to the customer, to the core product value as soon as possible. And it again takes a lot of iterations for the third step as well. So that is where we come in. That is what our value proposition is. That we can help a small company or even a big company grow following these 3 points. And we are very, very bullish about it. We don't talk big stuff. We don't use big words. Usually they don't mean nothing. We keep it really simple. So whoever wants to grow, I think these 3 concepts are really important. I just wanted to share. Maybe it will be helpful to you guys sometimes. And have a test around it. Do let us know how useful it was.